Hello.
Hi, welcome. Let
Thank
me
you. Thank you for having me. Hello,
thank you so
everybody.
much. Thank you so much for being here. Can I introduce yourself? Can I read your bio?
Sure, if you want.
Right, there you go. Correct me if I'm saying your last name wrong. Nikeeta Lakhiani.
Yeah, Nikeeta Lakhiani.
Lakhiani is an abstract artist living and working in Bali, Indonesia. She plays with colors and shapes in organic patterns and forms, constantly exploring the relationship between gestures, colors, marks, and textures to portray harmony and balance as seen through her perspective. She works with a mixed range of media, bridging the gap between traditional and digital art. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for being here.
Thank you, Myra. Thank you for inviting me. And before I start, I do apologize that I might be coughing or sneezing because I am recovering from a cold. But I will try my best to, yeah, to speak properly. So my name is Nikeeta, and I have been painting for since I was a child. I've been doing it full time for about 4 years now. My background is actually in fashion design and styling. And it was only when I moved to Bali that I started to really take painting seriously. So that was about 7 years ago, but full time about 4 years now. My style, I would say, is abstract expressionism. So I'm kind of moved by different things, especially, living in Bali, my surrounding, and yeah, just being in nature, and, especially like in, sorry, just a second. I got, yeah. Yeah, just like being in nature and having this kind of inspiration around me has really made an impact in my work. And so, yeah, I'd just like to show you my work a little bit so you have an idea. Hold on. There we go. So these are some of my paintings. They're done on canvas, and um, I use like a different medium for each one. So sometimes I use like acrylic, sometimes I use ink, and a lot of spray paint as well. 1 second. So I don't know if you can see that clearly. And yeah, and these have been sort of my work throughout the pandemic of 2020. And I recently got into NFTs because a friend of mine pushed me to do it. He said, he called me one day and he said, Nikeeta, you should really get into NFTs because your work is gonna really fit in there. And I was like, really? But what exactly is NFTs? I had no idea. And so then he said that, why don't you do some research on it? Because Beeple just sold a $69 million painting on there with Sotheby's. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's a big deal then. So let me check it out. But it only really took me a whole year before I got into NFTs. And so when I started researching into it, I was like, wow, there's Damien Hirst, and there's quite a big, like all these big artists on there, So I started to look into it more, and I was like, okay, maybe, but everything is digital. All of it is made, from, it's animated. It's like, you have all these preconceived notions of the NFT space before you join. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe I can just try to mint some of, these kind of pieces where it's all just analog paintings. I don't know if they would sell, but maybe it's worth a shot. Um, so I got create, and then I started to play around with it. And I was like, maybe I could paint over some of my digital paintings and see what the result would be, and learn a few animated apps and see where that would take me. So I minted my first collection without really knowing anything about NFTs. I had invested a little bit on crypto coins, but I didn't know too much about it. I just put up some work and I said, okay, well, is it going to sell or not? And my friend told me, no, it's not just going to sell just like that. You have to get on Twitter, you have to build community, you have to speak to people, you have to engage with the community and share about your art. I mean, that's the only way people are going to know about you. And I was like, oh God, wow, sounds like a lot of work, But anyway, so I'm just going to show you the first few pieces I minted were these animated art pieces. Sorry for a slow connection here in Bali. So I don't know if you can see, but it's a subtle movement of the shadows in the background. So this is actually an analog painting that I did, and then I combined it with some digital brush strokes and used Motion Leap to kind of create the animated effect for the painting. And of course, my friend who told me about NFTs was the first one to buy this artwork and support me. So I will be forever grateful to him. And then, one second. This is the other art piece that was also animated. This is called Bali Sunset. It's inspired by, the beautiful sunsets that we have here in Bali. Also made from a painting of mine and added with digital brushstrokes and all on Procreate and then animated on Motion Leap. So, and then my cousin bought this painting. So they were supporting me, but it was very difficult initially to create a name within the NFT community. And it was only through really reaching out to people and engaging and really getting to know how the community works that I was able to then understand the market and put up some of my analog work. So this was the second collection that I did. They are all they're all analog work made of acrylic, spray paint, inks, and it was a small collection of 7, and all of them sold out very quickly. So I was like, okay, so people are starting to notice my work and they like it. And I started at a very low price point of 0.07 ETH, and yeah, immediately got scooped up in a matter of 2 weeks. I would drop a piece every other day, and yeah, in a matter of 2 weeks, it was scooped up. And so I didn't want to put, all of my paintings immediately. I was still testing the market. I wanted to see what works, what doesn't work, were people responding to it. And yeah, and I just wanted to know if people wanted to buy analog paintings or were they really just interested in digital work. And then I started dropping more expensive pieces. So some of these are 0.1 ETH. And then the collectors started, the bigger collectors started picking up on my work. And that collection also got sold out very quickly. And at the moment, I don't really have any pieces left available. Oh, I do have this one piece, but everything else was sold out very quickly. And I was really surprised because I didn't expect it at all. But I've noticed that anything that you put out as an NFT, and as long as it adds value to people's life, it will definitely sell, So I feel like as a traditional artist entering this NFT space, I wanted to to explore different mediums. I wanted to put up things that people don't see, like on my in my real art, you know. So I wanted to have that differentiation between the two, so that when people are buying my NFTs, it's still different from my analog pieces. And my collectors of, you know, my analog pieces are not going to complain that I'm selling the NFTs as well. But in the future, I think where I would like to go with it is to actually put up paintings and offer them as NFTs as well, so that people, collectors have provenance, you know, they have a piece of me in their home, but they can also say that they own the digital asset. And so that is where I would like to go in the future. One thing I would like to add is that I think it doesn't really matter how many followers you have on Instagram when you enter the NFT space. You still have to build your community. And that was something I didn't know. The first month when I was hustling on Twitter and I was on Clubhouse spaces, talking about my art, sharing, trying to connect with people, I was spending about 10 hours on Twitter, on Clubhouse, talking to people, and it was exhausting. My mental health kind of took a toll, and people don't talk about this, but to actually make it in the NFT world, it's a lot of hard work. You do not just expect to put high prices and immediately sell out. But I think something that I learned was that when you do put in the hard work and you really enjoy the process of connecting with people, it does pay off. I think the hustle is necessary in the beginning, but then now in the second month of being in the NFT space, I can see that it has really paid off. And yeah, I'm really excited because I really think that this is the future of the art world. You know, I see a lot of big artists entering this space, and, you know, to be amongst them. And yeah, I'm very bullish on that. So I think, what else can I add? I think just if I had any advice for new artists entering this space, it would be, you know, take some time to really research the space, learn about cryptocurrencies, enter Clubhouse rooms, enter Twitter. Don't put up your work immediately. Really, really get to know people, get to know how the market works, because it also depends on, you know, the ups and downs of whether the currency is up or down, you know, with Ethereum and which are the other ones? There's Solana, there's Cardano, Tezos, there's quite a few blockchains that do NFTs, but it all depends on the market. So I would really recommend that you take the time to learn about cryptocurrency and do your research, and then start to put up work. You know, once you've built a community and you know that people are really excited for what you have to share. Yeah, I think that's all I have, Myra. Is there anything else I should add?
Let us ask you some questions. Let me
Yes,
start with
please.
one question that I have.
Yeah.
How would you recommend building community? Because I know you're really good at it.
So, like I mentioned, I think I spent a lot of time on Clubhouse. I spoke to a lot of people, pitching my art, talking to them, and telling them, you know, my vision and where I see my art going. I think for collectors, it's really important for them to know that you're not just going to be here for a short time and then stop doing it. You know, they want to see that you're going to be here for the long run, and they want to invest in someone who is really, really dedicated to this space. And I had to prove that in a way. And, you know, I'm still on Twitter all the time, this is the place where everybody is in the NFT community, and constantly, sharing people's work. I'm connecting with people, talking to them, and yeah, that's how you do it.
Let me unmute. Now I have a question from Anthony. Do you
Mm.
find it important to keep a particular theme or play with a variety of styles when developing a community?
Okay, so I think initially when you're first trying to build community and you're new to this space, I would recommend that you stick to one style, because you are trying to show people what you are about. If you are going to experiment too much, I think collectors are going to be a little bit confused. In that sense, it's quite similar to the traditional art world. Like, you kind of build up your style over the years, right? And I think it's okay to play around after a while, but initially I really recommend that you stick to one style. And once you have a number of sales already and people know about you, then I think, playing around, collaborating with other artists, these are something that I've seen quite often in being done, in the community. So yeah, that would be my advice for you, Anthony.
Questions? And says great insights, Nikita. Thank you. I
Thank you
knew it
very
would be
much.
amazing, your insights, because she was sharing with me her journey, and I feel like so many people that I know, because I share it in NFTs too, um, to sell, but I didn't really pursue the journey that you did. And people come and ask me about, and it's everybody's asking about it, and no one is talking like you did, step by step. And
Yeah,
that would be really helpful, because you went through something, and it's draining, like you share it, and it
yeah,
helps if people just share their
yeah.
stories. And I'm super happy for you. Your art is absolutely amazing. I'm a fan.
Thank you very much.
And they
Thank
look
you.
amazing digitally. It's very nice. The last question that I have is, although we have time for more, um, my question is, what adds to people life with your art? How you found that?
So I think the feedback that I've got from the NFT community is that because the space is full of digital art, there is there hasn't been a lot of artists that are doing like proper abstract. There's a lot of it. Sorry, my bad. There's a lot of abstract artists that are doing works digitally, but not so many that are combining analog with digital. And I think what I have been told was that they find that my artworks are peaceful. They find that they resonate with the artwork because it is inspired. Sorry, it is inspired by nature, and you can sort of see my influence with. I don't know what my computer is doing. Sorry,
Oh yeah, I thought it was on purpose.
it
You
keeps
were walking
jumping.
the extra.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, they said that it's very peaceful, and that they feel calm when they see it, and it's quite refreshing in a space where there is a lot of digital art. That yeah, I mean, that's what I was told, and I was like, okay, well, I'm really glad to hear that, because that is my purpose for making art.
Mhm.
I want people to feel the peace that I feel when I am creating. I want that to transmute through my paintings. I want them to really enjoy what they are seeing, because at the end of the day, um, you know, your vibration is controlled by exactly what you're observing. So for me, it's really important that people resonate with my artwork. And surprisingly, my collectors who have collected my piece They were not quick to flip it. Like when I say flip, I mean they immediately try to sell it to try to get a higher price, which is quite common in the NFT market. Um, but I've noticed that with my art pieces, they are keeping it and holding on to it. So I'm really happy to see that in a way.
That's awesome. I said it was my last question, but I have one more.
Sure,
You
please.
said that you wanted to do that. I guess you already answered, but when you started sharing as NFT or analog paintings, did you send to the buyers the originals or not?
No, so what I did was that I included my paintings as an unlockable. You can do that. So you can add it as an unlockable, and people can then download the painting and print it out. I didn't want to deal with shipping from Indonesia because of all the logistics. So what I did was that I just sent them a file for them to print themselves if they wanted to put it up on the wall. And the good thing is that I won't be selling any of those in my art shop. You know, these are NFTs, are just NFTs. And it's especially for my collectors who are buying it on blockchain.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Do you
Thank
want to
you.
share your website or a
Yeah,
message?
sure. So you can find me on NikeetaLakhiani.com. I'll put that in the chat shortly. And also my Instagram is the same thing, Instagram, NikeetaLakhiani.art. So I'll put that in. Yeah. If there's any more questions, I'm happy to take them.
Let me see. Let's check the chat. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think my final thing would be I hope that more artists will come on into the NFT space because it really is life changing. You know, to have people. I mean, uh, you're not selling in US dollars. You're selling in Ethereum or any of the other currencies that you might use. So I really think that you know, this can really provide financial freedom to artists and to bust the starving artist myth, you know, that we have, because the potential for these crypto coins to grow will also be tremendous. I personally think, I don't know for sure, but I really think Ethereum and all of these coins will still go up in value. And so I think to have that financial freedom is so important for an artist, right? And you don't have to just do one thing. You don't just have to make canvas paintings. You can have two streams of income and have that support each other.
That's amazing. I do know that you had another profession before fully embracing your art, and
Yeah.
hopefully the new generation will need to do that. They will need to go for something that pays before they just follow their passion, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you have to go through things before you realize and take the leap to do what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Some people have the courage to do it immediately, but for me, it was a process because I first and foremost a fashion designer, and that what I thought was my passion.
Ah, that's amazing. I met you on another on another step after this one. That's true. There's one more question here.
Sure.
How do you convey meaning in your abstract work when unable to explain all of it at an event, for example?
How do you convey meaning in your abstract work when unable to explain all of it at an event? I think for me, I just talk about the things that influence me. I talk about what I'm passionate about when I'm creating, which is a lot to do with the process itself. I like finding beauty while I'm creating. So that's a big part of my abstract work. I don't feel the need to tell people like a narrative or a story regarding each artwork. I do like to leave something for the imagination and something for the viewers to interpret. So I think that's usually how I explain it.
It makes a lot of sense to me. Thank you so much.
Thank
Uh,
you.
any other there's no more questions here. Just Sin, I guess I'm saying this right. Let's do some digital fashion together. I reached it out
Yes.
on Twitter.
All right. I will reach, yeah, I will reply to that shortly. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so much.
everyone.